Welcome to video 14, the sanity of sameness. Hello friend, thanks again for being here. In my last video, I talked about God's gift of joy. His gift is the only thing worth having and the only one there is to have. We have already received it, but you say, you are not joyful? Perhaps it's because you are living in a false past where you believed it possible to have what God has not given. We must let go the grip we have on the world, which is nothing but what we fear could happen, but could not, because God is love, willed it not, and God is not a devil. Today's topic is, to give and receive is one and the same, or the truth about having. We'll say that again. To give and to receive are one, or the truth about having. The more you give, the more you receive, for giving and receiving is the same. What's important to know, however, is that there is no taking in real giving. When God gives, He truly gives, and He gives what's worth having. When God gives, He increases because He is the idea of non-stop, unconditional giving and non-judgment. And ideas increase as they are shared. What He gives cannot be taken because only things can be taken. Anything that you can take is not worth the taking. We receive what God gives by giving what He gave us. Additionally, what God gives, we must receive, because when God gives, it's a done deal. And we always receive what we give, whether real or not. So if we are sad, it's because we believe it was possible to give sadness. If we are glad, we did give gladness. If we are trusted, loved, blessed, we did give love, trust, and blessings because they are of God, so they can be given. Let us forever be glad about this truth. It's not possible to give what is not of God because it's not there to give. Only things can be taken, and things are worthless. What can be truly given, which means also fully received, can only multiply as it is given because God is the cause, and the more you give of Him, which is Him, the more of Him there is to give and to receive. God is an idea only, but the idea He is ultra powerful, being the power of love. Love is all-inclusive with no separate parts. It is whole, complete, and conflict-free, therefore problem-free and very, very happy. Here are two world-shattering facts. Cause and effect are not separated. What is given and received are not different. Nothing is different. This is such great news. Why? How? Because when we understand, believe, and welcome the truth that God is 100% love and the only cause of reality, and that we, acting from the impossible state of separation, cannot cause anything but illusions of separate things, we can simply stop being made upset by an unreal world that was not possible to make, realizing we don't like its effects. The effect of God is much, much better. Wouldn't you agree? You see, my friend, time and space are not real. There is no space in between things and no time for them to have become different. What seems to be space is simply God. What appears as places between the spaces is actually also God. But we have taken those particular aspects of Him, judged them to be what we decided they'd be to us, labeled them thus, and in doing so we have seemed to erect a wall of separation around those labeled aspects, seeming to separate them from each other by making them different from each other. This seems to cause other people and everything around us to be quite feared. The consequence of this is that illusions, basically false ideas of what they are and thus ourselves, begin to invade our belief system, and as I have mentioned so many times, we cannot escape our thoughts. Our joy or our misery is the effect of what is given by us and thus received, which is what we gave in the first place, but not until we have received it. That sounds confusing, but let me explain. We cannot give what we do not have, right? If we are receiving what we are giving, it must first have been given us and received. We can tell whether we receive the gifts of God: happiness, security, peacefulness, fullness, wholeness, completeness, oneness, eternal life, love, or what we have attempted to give ourselves: lack, separation from our source, fear, attack, guilt, depression, death. By how happy or how unhappy we are. And we are either happy or not. Let's be honest about that, okay? The saving news is that we can only accept what God gives, and only what He gives is real. So we must be giving what He gave us, even if we don't believe it, and we seem to be receiving something else. What is unreal and denying what God gave us cannot make us happy, period. We can only give God because only God is there to give. Let us only give what we already received from God, which is love. Love has no differences, nor is it fragmented, bringing only happiness. Our gifts to ourselves are not worthy of anyone. Also, and this is equally important, don't fool yourself by what you think is the outside world and the people in it that seem to embody traits that you hate and have denied in yourself. Whatever you see is what you think and what you want yourself to be. Otherwise, you wouldn't be thinking it, thus seeing it. This is the ego's biggest deception. The truth is, if it's in our mind, we cannot escape it because we put it there. And we can't get rid of it by trying to push it outside of us because there is no outside of us. Only by changing our minds to what God says is reality can our thoughts and the world it projects outside us stop being poison and become transformed into God's bread of life. What we think the world is what we unconsciously believe we are, because the world and what we believe we are is the same, even if what we think it is not true. And we only think we see it because we keep giving and receiving it. Let us be real, happy, and give only God's gifts. Playing hot potato is a cute childhood game, but a very sad game to play with our sanity. The things we hate are like a hot potato. We throw it to someone else, but they throw it right back. And that's how it is. Throw what you want, and you will get it. To truly be freed from that which we hate, we must deny that it can be what we thought it was, in us, in the world, and in the people that seem to be outside us. These ugly and sorry yet unreal aspects of the Son of God that we and our brothers aren't cannot be real because it's not God's will, and we must stop perpetuating it in fantasy by attempting to give or receive what is not of God and thus not of us. Today, let us remove all meaningless and self-made gifts which we have placed upon the holy altar where God's gifts belong. These are the gifts which are our own in truth. His are the gifts which we inherited before time was and which will still be ours when time has passed into eternity. They are better than what we keep trying to give ourselves, and that we keep trying to get rid of because we hate it. Let us not be deluded. There's no one else to give it to. God has only one Son or creation, and that's us. Not in bodies, not on earth, not in time, but in truth, which is reality and which is timeless and eternal and thus can have no physicality. The world of bodies is just a very sad dream that keeps repeating itself like a broken record. Time to pull the stylus off that worn-out piece of plastic and throw it out the window. It's just a total waste of time. Who needs it? Not me, not you, not even your imagined enemies. God's true and real and eternal gifts that bless everyone are the gifts which are within us now, for they are timeless, and we need not wait to have them. They belong to us always. They are ours. We will to have them now, and know in choosing them in place of what we made, we but unite our will with what God wills and recognize the same as being one. We now give and receive, but what belongs to us in truth, which is joy and peace, our inheritance given us by God upon creation. We now clear a holy place within our minds before his altar, where his gifts of peace and joy are welcome. We come in confidence, aware that what belongs to us in truth is what he gives. And we would wish for nothing else, for nothing else belongs to us in truth, and nothing else do we want, because who wants pain? Unlike the world's gifts, which cause us pain as we give them, and that seem to diminish us as they are given, God's gifts increase as we receive, then give them. But to know we have received them, we must give them, especially to those whom we have denied them to. They are not like to the gifts the world can give, in which the giver loses as he gives the gift, the taker is the richer by his loss. These are not gifts, but bargains made with guilt. The truly given gift entails no loss or pain. It is impossible that one can gain because another loses. This implies a limit and an insufficiency, which God knows nothing of. No gift is given thus. Such gifts are but a bid for a more valuable return, a loan with interest to be paid in full, a temporary lending, meant to be a pledge of debt to be repaid with more than was received by him who took the gift. This strange distortion of what giving means pervades all levels of the world we see. It strips all meaning from the gifts we think we give and leaves us nothing in the ones we think we take. By giving and taking things that have no value and that seem to leave us with less has caused the act of giving to become a source of fear. So we avoid the only means by which we can receive God's true and lovely gifts, to truly give. And we, instead, don't give or receive anything, and that hurts. To truly give is to give what has true value, and that must increase as it is given. Only the ideas of God fit that description. Ideas increase as they are given. What we receive is the proof of what was given, and what we have given is what we believe we have received from God. Though, if it makes us anything but joyful, it was a gift we gave ourselves, but hate because it's ugly. Not that we're ugly, but the person whom we have painted ourselves to be without the help of God's blessing and agreement is indeed a sad and unhappy thing. Let us reject that which we have been trying to give ourselves for longer than we can remember and receive only God's gift of peace and joy. Then will we learn a different way of looking at a gift. God's gifts will never lessen when they are given away. They but increase thereby. As heaven's peace and joy intensify when you accept them as God's gift to you, so does the joy of your Creator grow when you accept his joy and peace as yours. True giving is creation. It extends the limitless to the unlimited, eternity to the timeless, and love unto itself. It adds to all that is complete already, not in simple terms of adding more, for that implies that it was less before. It adds by letting what cannot contain itself fulfill its aim of giving everything it has away, securing it forever for itself. Today, right now, let's accept God's peace and joy as ours. Let him complete himself as he defines completion. We will understand that what completes him must complete his Son as well. He cannot give through loss, no more can you. Receive his gift of joy and peace today, and he will thank you for your gift to him. You have already received it. Accept this reality now. Let us think of those brothers of ours who have been denied by you, the peace and joy that are their right under the equal laws of God. Here is where, when, and how you denied them to yourself. And here you must return to claim them as your own as soon as you realize you want them and that they are your right and inheritance. Think of your enemies a little while and tell each one as he occurs to you, "My brother, peace and joy I offer you, that I may have God's peace and joy as mine. I forgive every judgment I thought I could make of you, and therefore me, and see right through everything I thought could be, to see who you and I really are." Thus you prepare yourself to recognize God's gift to you and let your mind be free of all that would prevent success. Now are you ready to accept the gift of peace and joy which God has given you? Now are you ready to experience the joy and peace you have denied yourself? Now you can say, "God's peace and joy are mine, for you have given what you would receive, for they are the same." You must succeed in this if you prepare your mind as suggested, for you have left all bars to peace and joy be lifted up, and what is yours can come to you at last. So tell yourself, "God's peace and joy are mine," and close your eyes a while and let his voice assure you that the words you speak are true. Determine not to interfere with what God wills, and if a brother seems to tempt you to deny God's gift to him, see it as but another chance to let yourself receive the gifts of God as yours. Then bless your brother thankfully and say, "My brother, peace and joy I offer you, that I may have God's peace and joy as mine." Pensive thought to ponder. No matter what we think, no matter what we believe, we are as God created us to be, now and forever. God creates by extension, not by division, and thus we must be exactly as he is, in truth. We cannot make nor change ourselves. We are not separate beings. We are not even beings. We are the eternal idea of the spirit of oneness that is all there ever was and all that ever could be. The spirit of oneness is love, and the only love there is. It is the gift that keeps on giving to itself. Don't feel guilty or disappointed if you just now have realized that you have been wrong about everyone and everything, including yourself. You're not the only one, but you are the only one in reality. Cherish that truth, for it is joy itself eternal. The lack, suffering, and death you once believed in and never was is just one ancient idea that could never be. You have come to realize what has always been. You at one with all of creation and God himself. Hallelujah. See you in my next video.